Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about understanding when we are being guided from our highest selves and also when we are being guided from our egos. This has been a really big focus for me lately. I'm just seeing it from a whole new perspective as I continue to strip layers away. And so I just wanted to get on here and talk with you about it because becoming more aligned to your highest self, to the highest alignment that you can live, there's nothing better. Hopefully I can share something with you today that gives you a moment of being able to peel back one of your own layers. And please share with me in the comments any of your thoughts on this. I would love to learn something from your experience as well. If you are new here, my name is Amy. Thank you for being here. Welcome back if you've been here before. I just love this space. I feel like I say that every time. I am just really grateful to have this. I started my channel about 6 months ago now, almost 6 months, which is crazy. And this kind of goes with what I'm talking about today, but I started it focused on money, mindset, and spirituality, knowing that these were my biggest interests, and then very quickly realized that I just didn't really want to talk about money. It just didn't have enough depth for me. This experience has just continued to unfold, and I have opened up spiritual gifts that I didn't even know were a part of me 6 months ago. I'm just so glad that I started and that I have approached this channel in a way that is hard for me to approach most things. I have approached it from more of like a feminine energy, from a place of just feeling it out, of listening to my instinct on what I should share, what I should be talking about, and really not thinking about it from a space of logic and looking at analytics or anything like that. I just feel so grateful that I can have a space like this where I feel so creative and where I feel like I can just show up and talk about the things that matter more to me than any other topic. Money is fun and it matters, but there are so many resources for that already. And I had to go deeper. I have to listen to this higher self of mine. The more I listen to it, the more I'm able to connect to it. And so I know there have been some changes and shifts on what I have been sharing here, but I do feel like it's like this uncovering, this pulling back of these layers. And I kind of want to just share with you how I recognize when I am aligned with my ego and when I'm aligned with my higher self. That to me is one of the hardest parts of just understanding what's what. One of the most important aspects of it in my experience is that my ego is loud. It nags, it's obnoxious, it's going to repeat things over to me and remind me a million times. It is judgmental, it is critical, it's not very patient, and it can be very indecisive. So these are just a few of the things. So when I am able to recognize that I am in one of those places, that is my ego. When I am aligned with that quiet voice within me, that is my higher self. It is exactly that. It is quiet. It is this nudge. It is that gentle but very confident message that you get. Do this. Don't do that. This is the way forward. This is your best decision to make, but it's not going to nag you. It doesn't keep repeating itself. And when you are really aligned with your ego, it can be very hard to recognize and hear your higher self. The more that you shift into the space of connecting to your higher self, though, the easier it becomes. It's almost like, see it as like learning a language. And you are speaking these two languages, but you are more fluent in connecting with the language of your ego because we're human and because that is what the world around us is doing. And so that is what we have learned. That's what we're conditioned to do. But there is another part of us that speaks another language just as well, just as fluently, but we need to quiet that other aspect, that other language, to be able to hear it, to be able to actually recognize it and hear what it's saying. Kind of just get quiet with it and tune in with it. The other thing is that your higher self, it speaks to you through your intuition. You can't find it outside of you. Yes, you can find signs, and I love a good sign from the universe. But ultimately, your answers, your guidance comes from within. A lot of times your ego is looking outward, comparing to other people. Oh, well, this person is doing it this way, so that must be how I have to do it too. Or I'm not doing it like that person, so I must be doing it wrong. When that is not true. That is your ego comparing, and our egos want to keep us safe. And so they do that by comparing, by saying, you have to do it like this is what everyone else is doing, so this is going to keep you safe. When that is not necessarily true. Our egos matter and they're important, but we have lost our ability to be the ones in charge of our egos. And so our egos are like little kids running the show with no boundaries or rules. The part of you that needs to be the strongest is your higher self. You being able to tune into that and make decisions from that place. A real life example for me, and this has been going on probably since I got my first job. And now I am in a place in my life where I feel like I'm getting very close to having to make some pretty big decisions. And it's really coming up again for me. And as I connect more deeply to my alignment and my spiritual gifts and connections, it's a lot harder for me to ignore this or to make decisions that are not aligned. So for me, it's my ego has been telling me my whole life, and this is influenced by other people around me, and for good reason. But for me, it has been very much, you have to get a certain kind of job. You have to make a certain amount of money. You need to get a house so that you can have it paid off by a certain age and do certain things. Your health insurance has to look a certain way. Your 401k has to look a certain way. And I have worked in accounting, so I understand the math behind all of this. I get it. But I have never been fulfilled in this work. In my 20s, I didn't just go to college and start working. I was doing things that felt more in alignment for me. I worked in a variety of different jobs, and I moved to a lot of different places because I wanted to explore and have different experiences. But as I got closer to 30, I got to a place where I felt like, wow, maybe I do need to have more security, more of these things that the people around me are having too. Maybe I'll feel the way it seems they feel when I have those things too. And one of my favorite quotes is, do not compare your insides to somebody else's outsides, because we don't know how they're feeling inside. And it's so easy for us to compare, but we're not comparing the right thing. So it really gets us caught up and stuck. So my ego is telling me these are all the things that I should do. It will keep me safe. But there is another part of me, that quiet part within me, that has always told me that I am creative, that I need to have a certain element of freedom, that I am here to help heal, to help connect, to do something that is connected spiritually, that is in a way where I get to share the hardships that I have gone through with others, to give them an opportunity to perhaps make it a little bit less of a struggle for them as well. But the ways that I've approached that have not allowed for me to really expand on them fully in the way that I want to. As of the time I'm recording this, I still work a full-time job in an environment that I tolerate. And so I only have so much time to do these other things. But I am getting to a place where my heart and my soul still desire the same things they did as 10 and 20 years ago. What am I going to do about it? What really matters? What if I remove the idea of the expectations of numbers and how it's supposed to look to somebody else? What if I really tune in to what my alignment is saying to me? What if initially it might seem a little bit scary and it might seem a little bit not necessarily as stable? But what if on the other side of that is the best experience I could ever dream of having here in this lifetime as a human? And I've got to tell you, as I reflect on the things that my heart has always wanted and desired and longed for, overall, it is the same feeling. Yeah, it might look different of exactly how that's going to be, but the feeling that I am seeking is the same. the way I feel my purpose is and how I want to help the world, it's the same. And there is a part of me that believes that I need to follow that, that is actually where all of the magic and joy lives. And I already know what it looks like and feels like to follow the very societal expectation of how I'm supposed to live life. I know what that feels like. And you know what? I do a really good job in my work, but I have never been able to elevate myself in this career in a way that has felt fluid at all. And I also believe that that is because this is not fully aligned for me. And so this is a big place where I'm at right now. It is not time for me to make any decisions yet at the moment for any of these things. And so I'm not making decisions, but I am doing a lot of work in the sense of daily meditations, daily channeling sessions, yoga. I am doing the things that help me stay aligned and connected so that when it's time for me to make decisions, I know that I can make them from an aligned place. And that when I dream about what I want in the future today, when it's time to make decisions, I can remember what I was dreaming about, because I want to remember when it's time for me to make those decisions. I might get confused. My ego might get really loud, but I want to remember when I was calm and balanced and not under the pressure to make any kind of decisions, what it was I deeply desired. So that is my real talk, where I'm at, what I'm focused on. I'm not ready to get into any specifics because I'm very big on not being influenced by any other opinions or people, because it's me, it's my decisions, it's my heart, it's my calling, just like yours are yours. And I encourage you to try not to seek too much outside of you for validation or advice or input on what you should do, because you're going to get advice back that, yes, might come from a really good place from people, but it's going to come from their experiences and what they would do and their perspective. For you to really start aligning, you need to go inward to know what that is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear from you. There's so much we could talk about with this topic, and we will continue to discuss these things in the future. But for now, I am sending you a big hug and a lot of love, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.